Hi, everyone. Mike White here. Welcome to this week's blog post. This week, I want to share some information, and I'm calling it Opportunity Knocks, because I think that as an industry, we're not looking at all the opportunities that are being presented in front of us. And I go back to the old adage, when opportunity is knocking, you've got to answer the door. And as this industry goes through some structural changes, the reality of it is you need to know how to take advantage of what these changes really are. And we've talked about this in the past. We went to a huge tilt in how our business was done. We went from a pretty traditional 80% purchase, 20% refinance balance, all the way to about 60 to 70% refinance to 20 to 30% purchase business. And it wasn't because the purchase volume wasn't all that strong, because as we know, last year was a record for purchases. It's just that we got so wrapped up in the amount of availability of refinances to do that it was literally 2/3 of the business. And now we're seeing the dramatic shift back to a more noticeable balance, more normal balance, if you will. That shift has been very challenging for a lot of people, and some people are having a rough time making the transition. And we're looking around, and there have been literally thousands and thousands of people in our industry that have been laid off. And some of these are some really good people who lost their jobs only because their companies were staffed up to handle all the refinance business. And once the refinance business left, they were overstaffed. And a lot of really good people were let go, not because they weren't good at their jobs. It's just because the volume was not there to support them. And so there are many licensed loan originators, many great LOAs and processors and underwriters and closers and all kinds of support people who are really highly skilled and very valuable, who have been eliminated from their jobs only because their companies didn't have the volume any longer to take them. And I think this can be a huge opportunity for many people out there. So if you're looking at this and saying to yourself, I've been mainly focused on the purchase business, we're really strong in the purchase arena, I could deal with some people who are really skilled in our business to join my team. Well, those people are out there. And it could be a really big boom for you to find these people and bring them aboard to help you do the other things that you want to do that you're not getting to simply because you didn't have the capacity or the bandwidth to get it done. These people are out there, and it's not like we're having to go and spend $80 or $100 or $200,000 a year to get a processor or an underwriter or whatever, because these people don't have jobs right now. And they've become, pretty reasonable as to what they can accept to come back to work. So the new reality is you got to be strong in the purchase arena and take advantage of the opportunities that are going to be out there. And again, it's not about, hey, I'm going to go call a bunch of realtors and schedule coffee appointments, or we're going to go out and buy leads, because that's not what it's going to take to get it done. That's not going to work going forward. It's not sustainable. But the key is you need to master your skill set. And what I've done is I've come up with 5 skills that I think are imperative, that unfortunately I don't think everybody has spent enough time mastering to really thrive in the new arena. And so I wrote them down. I said, you've got to prospect. You've got to master diversity in your prospecting. It can't just be one thing. You've got to master your process. You got to make sure that your process is efficient and clear and understandable and consistent from the time that customer calls to the time that closing happens and beyond. You've got to master your communications and understand that, emails and autoresponders and things like that are not going to be the key on how things go forward. It's going to be personal phone calls. It's going to be text messages. It's going to be really reaching out and talking to people again, because that's what's going to stand out in this environment. Databasing. You've got to master the collection and retention of clients and information and referral partners and potential product and service providers into your database, because the collection of that information is going to be your security blanket. All of those people who know you, like you, trust you, have done business with you, and had the experience, there is the best advertising and the lowest cost repeat opportunity you're ever going to find is inside that database. And last but not least is you've got to master value, because it's not about price anymore. It's always been about value. We're hey, I'm sorry, but we're not at 2% rates anymore. But yet there are still people buying houses every day. It's still a very strong housing market. Rates are considerably higher, but people are still buying houses. People are still doing really well in the purchase arena. And it's because it's about value. Somebody is not stupid for taking a 5.5% mortgage when they could have had a 2.5% mortgage, a year ago. They're not stupid. The value still isn't buying the house. The value is still that monthly payment is better than renting. The value to them is home ownership, and it's still a very powerful tool. So you've got to always be sure that you're making it about value. Now, to be honest with you, there's only so many people that I can help. There's only so many companies that I can work with. There's only so many hours that I have in the day. And if you're watching this, then you're one of those people, you're associated with the people that I look forward to impacting and I look forward to working with, because this message isn't broadcast out to the entire planet. You're connected to this information for very real reasons. And it's important to understand that this isn't about survival. It's about learning to thrive in these conditions well into the future. And even though my calendar is limited, I do have the availability this summer for a few site visits, and I have the availability in my schedule for a few new clients. And if we can't make that work inside the summer window, or the summer won't work for you, maybe you consider doing or scheduling a business planning event for you and your team sometime this fall. But again, that calendar this year is probably going to fill up pretty quickly, because again, there's not that many days in the week. There's not that many weeks that I have to go travel and hit these spots and do these trainings, because again, these are live events and they do take some time, and I am committed to the process. But as always, if you're interested, if you want to talk about it, email me, mike@imtcoaching.com. Let's talk about what I can do to help you, your team, your company. And maybe we can find a way of working together to help you master these skills so that you can move forward and secure the future. And it's a lot more fun to be in this business when you have a plan. It's a lot more fun when you're proactive rather than reactive. And I look forward to look forward to helping you do that. So again, Mike at IMT Coaching, take care.